Good morning, everybody. I wanted to make sure that this video was right, so forgive me. I wanted to make sure we were good. I wanted to restart it this morning. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice, be glad in it. It's 8 o'clock. I want to get it in with you a little bit this morning. I want to chop it up for about a good 20 minutes or so, just so I can just talk and share with you guys just a couple of things that the Lord has given me today to kind of help and to kind of bring some light to some things and to help you in some area of your life. And I believe that I'm going to share with you just some critical keys today to give you some good things that the Lord has dropped into my spirit. I pray that you all have had an amazing weekend. I pray that God has shined on you and shed his light on you to be a beacon light for somebody. And that's very critical. That's very key in the lives of believers, in particular those that are professing to go with Jesus all the way. This morning, I was trying to name it on the other one that I had to delete. I want to name this one today, Before You Speak, Think. Before you speak, think. Before you speak, think. I'm learning that you got to think twice before you speak once. If I could, once you say something that can be harmful, hurtful, you can't get those things back. And I'm learning that when a person really tells you how they feel, they'll tell you when they're drunk or when they're angry. A lot of people won't have the unmitigated nerve to probably say it to you when they're not. But a lot of times you'll find out that it's better to think twice before you speak once. I don't care how saved you are. I'll lift my hand. When something bothers you, you're going to say something. And a lot of times we'll say some very hurtful, demeaning, things just to hurt the other person, which does not necessarily guarantee a good thing for success. And even if you do get past that, it's going to be something that's going to always be remembered, or something that is going to be kind of held against you. We say we're mature. We say that, we know how to forget. But a lot of times you'll find out you really never forget. You're just waiting for another opportunity to actually bring it up. You gotta really take critical examination of that. And sometimes it's better to think before you speak. Sometimes you really have to really take critical analysis on why a certain thing may happen, why a certain thing is unfolding or manifested, or why you can't get over certain humps or hurdles. You need to know why. Sometimes I think that you have to think. Now, I will say this. I may have some in the room with me. Some of us are very critical, and we are very analytical when it comes to our thinking. I think that's a true statement that I could probably make. Some people on here, they're very critical thinkers. They're very over analytical thinkers. So a lot of times your mind can go somewhere and it can be the furthest thing from what the reality could be. But just because you think it does not necessarily mean that it's always true. I am in a place in my life whereas I realize a lot of things, and in a lot of relationships that I have, friendship, ministry, kinship, the rules are not the same. And I guess because I'm held to a higher standard, I guess people think because you're the apostle or because you are this, that you're not supposed to have feelings. I've gotten to the place where I realize I'm not a Superman anymore. That I had to realize that I bleed. Amen. If I'm cut, I realize that I'm injured. I'm hurt. I realize that I gotta scratch when something's itching. I gotta run when something is chasing me. And I had to learn the hard way that everything that you see is not always authentically true. You can say a certain thing, you can feel a certain thing, and just because you got a feeling doesn't necessarily mean that it's true. Some of you right now think that it's discernment that you have, and really it's something rotten that you ate in your egg, something rotten that you ate, and what ended up happening is you thought that that was the Holy Ghost telling you something, and it wasn't. It was your stomach saying that you bloated and you need to take care of that. So we got to be very careful. So even if you got to be very careful before you speak something. Because I want you to understand something. Your words got power. I want you to write that down. Your words got power. So if you say something, don't be surprised that that thing come to pass. I have a thing, and when I thought about thinking, I wanted to break the word think down. I wanted to break it down, and that's why I'm saying before you speak, let's think about it. So let's go with it. Let's go with T for a minute. All right, let's go with T, the letter T. So write it down. Here it is right quick. Is it true? Okay. So before you speak, you need to first ask yourself, is it actually true? Is it true? I've learned, and y'all might think this is crazy. I know y'all ain't never probably did this before, but there's sometimes where I have to talk to myself. And the reason why I talk to myself is because really I'm the only one whose answers that I may accept when it comes to that situation with another individual. Now, that doesn't make it right. Hear what I'm saying? I want y'all to please understand. I don't want nobody to say that I'm being hallucinated. Because sometimes, hear me, you have to talk yourself out of a situation. Like yesterday, I had to talk myself out of a situation from doing something that I wanted to do. God had to tell me, hey, look, kingdom progression got to go on. You can't go do the stupid. You got to let kingdom progression go on. We'll deal with this at another time. And hear me. And I had to talk myself out of something that I really wanted to do. Because hear me, I had to accept my answer. See, it's good for other people to tell you what they think, but they're not in the situation. Some people, they love to retaliate. Some people, I believe before you accept anybody else's advice or criticism, they need to be the first one prescribed to that antidote or medicine that they're trying to prescribe to you. So you cannot tell me to buy into a product that you don't even believe in. You can't even tell me to take a product that you don't even take. Y'all ain't listening to me. When you think about truth, when someone loves you, the way they talk about you should be different. And hear me, when you talk to people about things or relationships that you're in, that person should feel safe and they should feel comfortable. See, there's a lot of things that you'll never know. That's why that you'll never be told. See, be very mindful of everybody that wants to know your move and you don't know any of their moves. Be very careful of people who want you to be accountable to them, but they can't be accountable to you. The truth is rarely pure and never simple when you deal with demonic people. When you look at truth, I'll say this to you. A lie can travel halfway around the world while the truth is still putting on its shoes. I learned that. And some people will never be worthy of your truth. That's why some of you don't tell people the truth. Oh, today we're going to talk about it today. I said this yesterday to a good friend of mine. I said, the truth will make you free, but first it's got to upset you enough. Facts does not cease to exist because they're always ignored. Okay. So hear me. Stop lying to yourself, because the person who lies to themselves and listen to their own lies come to the point where they cannot distinguish actually the truth within themselves or around them. So they lose, hear me, respect for themselves and for other people. And having no respect, they cease to actually have love in their actual heart. Some people right now, some things right now, you may have gotten involved into some stuff too soon because you never got healed from what you were dealing with in your yesterday. Some people right now, and this is me, I always feel in any relationship that I come into, I'm always having to pay the price or the penalty of what they're still harboring and investing in what someone else did to them. And I still feel that way, whether it's a male relationship, whether it's a female relationship, whether it's a ministerial relationship, whether it's a personal relationship. I've always felt that. I still feel that way. So when I come into people's life, I always come into it. I come all the way into it knowing that they had went through some stuff. Hear me. I've been in people's lives where I was an option, not the priority. And still in today's life, I still feel that way regarding certain people. And that's cool. That's what it is. It doesn't mean that you got to not be a person of intentionality. You just got to learn how to strive with people, because that's what I call maturity. Some people will never accept what you do, but you have to accept what they do. That's a lie from the pit of hell. Just because you doing it doesn't mean that the other person's got to be doing it. So you got to sometimes say to yourself, is really what you thinking really the truth? Sometimes you don't need to say something that you don't even know true foundation about. And an unexamined life is not worth living. Can you write that down, please? I came to a truth yesterday. I've been lying to myself about some stuff. And hear me. I believe me, but I've also believed the lies that I've allowed myself to believe. Did y'all hear what I just said? I know that don't make sense to some of you all. Because if you don't tell the truth, somebody going to tell it for you. And the truth is, unless you let go, the truth is, unless you forgive yourself and forgive others, unless you forgive the situation, and until you realize that the situation is over, you'll never move forward. That's why some of you right now cannot move further in relationships. You can't move further in your business. You can't move further in your ministries, but simply because you have not forgiven yourself for what happened in your yesterday. Who you're with today has nothing to do with your yesterday. Even if they have some inklings or residue, or what someone did to you prior, they're still not that individual. But some of the people that you're connected to could be the second and the third coming. So you got to understand that you got to destroy the things that are not true in your life. The things that you do for yourself are gone when you are gone. But the things that you do for others will remain to be a legacy when it comes to true foundational points, principles, when it comes to things that God is calling for you to do. This is what I want to say to you, and I think that you need to say this to some people. Rather than your love, rather than your money, and rather than your fame, I'd just rather you just give me truth. I'd rather you give me truth. And the best way to find out if you can trust somebody is really to understand going with them, walking with them, and giving them the opportunity. The more I see, the less some people know for sure. God said to me, he said to me the other day, this. He said that there are three types of lies. He said there are lies, there are the foolish lies, and there are the statistics. And just because I got to say this to you all, some people have an ideology in their mind that they only believe their truth, and they think that their truth is only true. And I was really yesterday at the gun range, I was just listening to this conversation, and this cat just knew what he was talking about was true. And I'm like, dude, that ain't true. That ain't true. But because it's him, it's true. That's idiotic and ignorant and crazy. And the moment a person can't tell you nothing is the moment you're going to lose. The moment that you think that your mind is the only one with understanding and no one else has it and they're done, you're going to lose. You better understand that before you speak, you better first of all ask yourself, is that very much thing actually true? Here's number two. Before you speak, number one, T is true. Here's the H. Is it helpful? Is it helpful? Be very careful of the help that you receive. Be very careful of the help you receive. I am very, 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 very careful of people who I allow in my space. Let me tell you why. Because I don't like people to throw up in my face what they do for me. So ask yourself before you speak, is it true? So is it helpful? So when you see a good person, think of becoming him, becoming her. When you see someone not so good, reflect on your own weak points. See, it's good to always want to tell everybody else where they jacked up at. But can you ever be honest with yourself to say where you're jacked up at? Can you ever admit this person can say something real foul, ignorant, and stupid? But have you ever said to yourself, I know I can say something real foul and stupid? And sometimes you got to say, is this thing actually helpful? Well-meaning, helpful, good-natured attitudes of mindset have now not become so honored on the account of a person's negligence and foolishness because of actually the states of how they look at some things, bestowing upon their own value and feeling the plenitude of life with